2, 1. Hello and welcome to Trusted Teachers, being the support that we needed, and thanks for joining us for another one of our videos. As always, I'm joined by Mr. B.
Hello all.
Today's video, Mr. B, is all about security, and it's all about specifically encryption. So before we go any further, I want to look at the outcomes from today. Our learning intention, what is encryption and how does it work? And hopefully by the end of this short video, we can explain what encryption is, the need for encryption keys, and the role of encryption in electronic communications. So first of all, I've got a question for yourself. Mr. B, do you know what that is? Do you recognise that at all?
I recognise it, and the first thing that comes to mind is the movie The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch, and it was all about breaking the German Enigma code, and I'm sure that was a machine that played a part in
Yes.
the encryption of messages.
Yes, very much so. This is an Enigma machine. And what it did is it took German communications and put it into a secret code that the British couldn't break for a long time. Or they could break it, but they couldn't break it quick enough. So it's all about Alan Turing's story of building a computer to speed up that process. So that's exactly what it is. So that's encryption in action. It actually dates back thousands of years, encryption, taking messages and put them into secret codes. But that's one of the most famous instances of it. What is encryption? Well, encryption is taking a message, what we like to call plain text, and using a key to put it into a secret code. And that's the secret code there, what we like to call a cipher. And it's a cipher that's actually transmitted across the internet or across telephone wires and fibre optic cables to the recipient, who also needs a corresponding key. These keys are linked, and that will decrypt the message back into plain text so the recipient can read the message. Okay, so just to go over that process again, it's very important. Encryption works by taking a message, plain text, using an encryption key to lock the message in a coded format, called the cipher, and it sends the cipher. The message can be decoded and the plain text can be read only by the holder of the decryption key. Okay, so all data in computers is stored in binary, as we know, and encryption and decryption keys are no different. They're also binary, and they're very large binary numbers. 128 binary digit, 128-bit keys are the minimum length of key recommended for secure communication. And that number's going up all the time as computers get more powerful. And these keys are used to encrypt and decrypt a message. Okay, so it's another one for yourself, Mr. B. Where do you think we may come across encryption in our day-to-day lives? Where do we use it?
The very first thing, when you're on WhatsApp and it always says that it uses end-to-end encryption, so I'm just assuming that means that either the data gets encrypted either direction it goes. Also things like anything with your personal data, including like online purchases, online banking, and also in like the Secret Service, kind of government, CIA, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure they would use encryption for things as well.
Oh, very much so. That's some cracking answers in there. The main use of encryption in our day-to-day lives, you're right, is online shopping. Online shopping just wouldn't exist if it wasn't for encryption. There'd be no way to buy or buy things online or carry out any digital banking securely. Sometimes data can be quite easy to intercept, and hackers would certainly be able to get your bank account details, your bank account number and the sort code, and personal information, your name and address. And in short, that gives hackers all the information they need to empty your bank accounts, commit identity fraud, apply for loans in your name, etc. So that whole world, that modern world, since mid-1990s of buying and selling goods online and digital banking just wouldn't exist without encryption. Some other uses of encryption, well, we'd like to encrypt hard drives on computers or mobile phones to secure our data and make sure our personal data stays personal. If someone were to steal one of these devices, then it'd be virtually impossible to read the data stored on it without the correct encryption key. In sensitive business information, you're quite right, and you mentioned government and state security secrets. These all use encryption, and in the business world, it's used as well to protect corporate secrets and business secrets and business processes and profit margins, all sorts of things. So yes, encryption is something that's used in the business world and in the security world quite significantly. Okay, so that's the encryption. Maybe, Mr. B, you could give us just a very brief roundup of what you understand encryption to be now.
So encryption is about kind of protecting information, so it kind of gets coded in a different way before it's sent to the recipient, and then they would get a key to unencrypt it in a sense, or
That's
decrypt it,
exactly.
whatever the phrase was.
That's exactly.
And it's obviously used in a wide range of places like the banking industry,
Yeah.
social media, and places where people wouldn't want their data kind of shown publicly.
Absolutely, that's a great response. And this is just the kind of the beginning, the introduction to encryption. There's an awful lot more to it. Things like how keys are generated and how keys are exchanged securely online. But it's a fascinating world, and I'd recommend anybody to do a wee bit of research and reading about it. Okay, so that was Trusted Teachers, being the support that we needed with another one of our videos. Thanks very much for joining us and watching the video.